And here we get x squared plus 9x plus 20. And we do the same thing here, okay? And we get x squared minus 3x plus 2. And down here we get x squared plus 3x minus 10. Nothing mysterious about that at all. Make sense? Good. Okay. Then we can simplify this. Now I could beat the use of rules to death, and there are rules that allow you to rearrange this. I'll kind of allow that with additions and subtractions without making you use the associative and commutative laws to prove that you can do it. Okay. In a little higher level course, I would need to do that, but I think I can pretty much trust people to do this. So we get this, right? Because I got an x squared and an x squared gives me 2x squared, right? I got a 9x and a minus 3x, that gives me a 6x. And if I've got 9 of them and I take away 3 of them, I end up with 6 of them, right? And 20 and 2 makes 22, okay? And down here, x squared plus 3x minus 10. Make sense? Are we done? Well, there's the idea of reducing to lowest terms. So really we end up having to factor this numerator to make sure that this numerator doesn't have any factors in common with the denominator. Okay? So let's see. Okay, well, we can factor out the 2. We get this, right? Then can you factor that? Well, the only integer factors of 11 are 1 and 11, right? And there's no way you're going to have a x plus or minus an 11 and an x plus or minus 1 that's going to give you a 3x. And that's a little ways down the road, but this doesn't factor. At least not on integers. So that this can't be reduced. Okay? Now, I've gone a little beyond what I expected to totally understand, but you should understand that when you have something like this is what you do. And the first couple of steps are just exactly what you would do if this was 5 over 8 and this was 7 over 12. Okay? You find a common denominator. It looks a little different, but it's exactly the same thing. And then you multiply things out using the distributive law. This step on factoring here, well, we haven't talked about factoring. And also, you can also check the discriminant of this thing, because you should know about discriminants and quadratic formula. But not using it just yet, soon. So we will talk about it in here. Okay? Well, that's kind of an overview of how we do fractions, and even up to the point of rational functions. Okay? And the distributive law. There's one more example I want to look at, and it's an example of the distributive law. So I think I can do that one over here. How are we going to multiply that out? We're going to use a distributive law. We're going to have to use it twice. It's really no different than what I did here, except I've got 3 terms over here. That's not going to be a big deal. Okay? So, in using the distributive law, it's just, okay, it's going to be x squared times this plus 7 times this, right? Okay. Now, you could have chosen to write this down a little differently. You could have written x squared plus 7 times x squared, right? Minus x squared plus 7 times 5x plus x squared plus 7 multiplied by 9, right? And then you apply distributive law to what you get there. That would be perfectly legitimate. But so as not to confuse things, I'll just do it one way. But if you started the other way, it would still lead you along a path to get exactly the same result. Okay, so now I multiply this. Well, that's x to the 4th, because x squared times x squared is x to the 4th. We know about exponents. We talked about it last time. And then x squared times 5x is minus 5x cubed. Okay? And x squared times 9 is 9x squared. Then over here, we're going to get 7x squared minus 35x plus 63. And if I'd have asked you to write that out, I'm pretty confident you'd have done it right, or any mistakes you made would be fairly minor, maybe a little arithmetic or something. Okay? I think you see this, right? And then all we have to do is simplify this. X to the 4th, well, that's all we got, x to the 4th, right? On x cubed, no x cubes over here. Okay, so all we got is a negative 5x cubed. Now x squareds, we got 9 of them and 7 of them, which gives us 16 of them. X's, well, we just have the negative 35x, because there are no terms here with just x, and there are no just plain numbers over here. So there it is. Is that hard?
Did you mean to write a 3 instead of a 2 on that 5x?
Yeah, I did. You know, I started to write a 2 there too. I don't know what it is. I'm thinking ahead to the square, or maybe my eye is catching that right there, which is kind of prominent from where I'm standing. Okay? And maybe it's just that I'm a bonehead. Okay? Yeah, see, you know, things deteriorate. I can't throw a football. I probably can't throw a football across this room now. Underhand, yeah. But 2 shoulder surgeries, I can't get my arm back. If you can't get your arm back, you can't get it forward. Well, you know, start losing a few neurons and start writing things down wrong. So keep an eye on me, right? Okay. What else? Okay, well, that's pretty much what I wanted to go over. There's gonna be an assignment. I'll just copy it out of that online book. But that's for this course, okay? Now, if anybody in the other class wants to do it, I'll post it on the, well, I'll tell them, you know, I'll just tell that class, you know, you click on this MCR thing and get those videos and those assignments and see what we talked about, because a lot of them are going to need it. And I'm going to talk about it a lot more quickly here in a little while when class meets. Make sense? Okay. So, make sure you got this. I want you to have all this. You'll be ahead of everybody else when it comes to this. Not everybody. You got some people pretty well prepared. But, you know, like I say, what I see from that little assessment test I gave is this fairly typical of the skills that people from dual enrollment classes bring to their dual enrollment classes in high school, and people bring to our on-campus sections. Okay? So it means there's a pretty big variety in what people know. And what you guys know is perfectly compatible with what everybody else knows. So just do what you need to do so this stuff doesn't get in your way. And hopefully other people that need to see it will look at it so it doesn't get in their way. And some people don't need to because they know it. It's not the majority of the class.